As some of you may know, April is Autism Awareness Month. What a lot of you probably do not know is that 3 months ago I was diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome, which is an autism spectrum disorder. In light of those two things, I felt that it was very important for me to make a video about autism awareness. Now, I typically don't like awareness videos because I never feel like they give the information that is really necessary for bringing the actual awareness. So I'm going to try to not present this video in the same way as your average awareness video. I'm not going to be giving you facts or statistics. I simply have 10 things that I want to share with you. 5 things that we wish you knew and understood about us, and 5 tips on how to care for someone with an autism spectrum disorder. First, I want to talk about the things that we wish you knew about us. Number 1, we're different. You can't compare us to other people or think about us the same way you would think about everyone else. Because autism spectrum disorders are neurological, we might look totally normal on the outside, when in fact we think and behave very differently than most normal people. Number 2, we're not disabled. Sure, there are lots of things that can make it difficult for us to function on a day-to-day basis, but that doesn't mean we're not capable of living our own lives. Number 3, we don't always react appropriately. Usually, people with autism spectrum disorders have a hard time processing and understanding societal norms, especially in terms of social interaction. It doesn't mean that we're immature or that we don't care, it just means that sometimes we don't know how we're supposed to act or respond. Number 4, we don't usually understand emotion. Oftentimes, we won't react appropriately simply because we don't understand the emotion in that given situation. Again, it doesn't mean that we don't care, it's just hard for us to know how to react. And number 5, we're not broken. We don't need fixing, we don't need some kind of solution, and we certainly don't need a cure. We need people to love and accept us, and we need them to understand that this is who we are. Those were kind of the top 5 that are really important for me, and now I'd really like to share with you my 5 tips on how to care for someone on the autism spectrum. Number 1, be patient. Sometimes it can take us a lot longer to answer questions and do tasks, simply because we're thinking about it in a lot more detail than most people normally would. A lot of the time for people with autism spectrum disorders, especially people with Asperger's syndrome, it can almost feel as if we're speaking in a second language when we're talking to other people. We need a certain level of grace so that when we make mistakes, which we will, we don't have to be afraid that you're going to be upset with us. Number 2, listen. Most of the time, we say exactly what we mean to say, and we mean exactly what we say. We need people to listen to what we're trying to say, and to not assume that we might be implying something other than what we are saying. Number 3, try to avoid sudden, unexpected change. Sudden change can make us very anxious and nervous. In those situations, we don't know what to do because we haven't mentally prepared for them yet. Number 4, ask very detailed questions about things that we are interested in. For example, if somebody really loves airplanes, then you can ask them what is the biggest airplane that was ever made. Having very detailed questions about things we understand helps us to know where the conversation is going and makes it comfortable for us when talking to you. Number 5, please don't get frustrated with us if we don't look at you or make eye contact. We most likely are giving you our full attention. We just tend to not look at people who we're talking to because it helps us to concentrate on what we're hearing and saying. And the last thing that I want to share with you is that if you meet someone with an autism spectrum disorder, then you have met one person with an autism spectrum disorder. Autism spectrum disorders are very diverse and they affect people in many different ways. For example, one person might absolutely love surprises, while the other person is absolutely terrified of surprises. The 10 things that I talked about in this video are very informative and they apply to lots of people on the autism spectrum. But you have to remember that this is not an exhaustive list and it is not one-size-fits-all information. If somebody that you know has an autism spectrum disorder, I highly encourage you to do your research, to talk to them, to find out what makes them the way that they are, and what you can do to help them feel more comfortable interacting with you. Because I think I can speak for a lot of us when I say we really just want to be understood. And I think that that's what autism awareness is all about. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope that this video has helped you understand a little bit more about those of us with autism spectrum disorders. Bye!